All right, I'm back with another hieroglyph. So what is this one? What does it picture? And how was it used in ancient Egyptian? We'll get into that in just a moment. Welcome to Voices of Ancient Egypt. If you're new here, I'd love it if you'd subscribe and hit that bell so you won't miss future videos like this one. All right, so what is this hieroglyph? This is what usually scholars tend to call, at least in English, we tend to call this a reed leaf. However, this is not quite accurate because it is part of a reed that is basically a kind of sort of swamp grass or tall, thin plant, but it's not really a leaf on top. It's actually this kind of feathery cluster of flowers on it. So you could call it a reed flower, but I will say you'll probably mostly read reed leaf because it's just something that people tend to say. So how was it actually used in ancient Egyptian? The reed leaf was used as what we now call a yod, again, adopting names from Arabic and Hebrew for the sounds. And this probably represented a very light Y sound, just a little yeah. And if you double this sign, though, you get a stronger Y sound. So scholars in modern times actually transliterate these sounds a little differently. If you have one reed leaf, you transliterate it as an I, and scholars tend to pronounce it like a long E sound. And if you have two reed leaves, it's transliterated as a Y. But scholars still tend to pronounce it as a long E sound most of the time, although both can also be pronounced like a Y depending on where they show up in a word. But again, this is just modern convention. This is not actually how ancient Egyptians used it. They would have been Y sounds in ancient Egyptian. So how might we use this reed leaf in a word? Well, one really common word that you'll see this in is not actually a word, but a name. That is Imen here, or you may know it more familiarly as the name of the god Amun. Again, this is just a different way to sort of render the same sounds, but in Egyptian, it's spelled as a yod, M, N. And the god Amun was, of course, an extremely important god in ancient Egypt for most of pharaonic history. He becomes very prominent during the Middle Kingdom initially, and then becomes especially prominent in the New Kingdom and later. He's really the main state god and a main focus of state religion. All right, so that's the reed leaf for you. I'll be back again soon with another hieroglyph, and I'll see you then.